AITA I don't want my boyfriend working with women. My male boyfriend and I female have been on and off dating for 6 years. We have 4 kids together. We met through a dating app and met up at his place of work and I fell for him instantly. He was losing his place and I wanted to take on a full-time job but couldn't with my daughter I had, so we agreed to live together a month into dating. This gave me the babysitter for an hour after school's done and gave him a place to stay. The first year went by amazingly with us talking about having kids together. I then found out a new co-worker he needed to train was a female. I made him leave that job because I knew it wouldn't stop as the boss was sleeping with the new girl, cheating on his wife. At this new job things were going smoothly for the first few months and we found out I was pregnant. I was over the moon about it but he seemed indifferent to it. I soon found out it was because he was seeing a female co-worker behind my back and used my money to take her on dates to my favorite places I introduced him to. We split up for the length of my pregnancy and he immediately moved in with this co-worker. After my son was born his relationship fell apart and I offered him to stay with me temporarily. After sleeping together for a while we started dating again and I fell pregnant again 6 months later. We stayed together during for 2.5 years with no issues and was introducing our 3rd kid into the world. 2 months after my daughter was born he started a new job. He became overly friendly with a female co-worker and I expressed my concern but her said he just likes the company and wants to get along with everyone. He was visiting her in the hospital after knowing her for a week. We were fighting a lot during this so he ended up moving out again. He of course moved in with this co-worker and didn't see him for 6 months. I guess she was crazy so he left her and missed me and the kids, so I again let him move back in. Ever since then things have been good and seems like we were able to leave all of it in the past. We move into a new place and found out I am pregnant again. We are both super excited about it. He started a new job last week and has been working side by side with a female and he seems to know a lot about her already and she's been buying him lunch every day. I expressed my concerns to him and he's saying all of the right things to make me believe it won't happen again, but I finally seen them working today and she is so pretty and his type. He was smiling a lot when they talked, more than he does with me. Am I the asshole if I ask him to find a new work partner? Comment. Looks like you two plays Uno and constantly plays the Uno reverse card. He definitely doesn't care about you, your relationship or your kids. Let this man go. You will be happier as a single mother as a woman with an cheating ass as husband. The female co-worker are not the problem in this story, it's you partner. You can't just restrict someone's life and insist they never converse with women. This is ridiculous. Just split up and find someone you can trust. You're putting all your energy into stopping him from cheating when you could just be having a nice life. In the end you're gonna actually look dumb here. Next story 2. I, 40M, have reached my limit with my wife's autistic son and I don't know what to do anymore. I have never made a post like this anywhere before, and there is a ton of background information to parse over, so I apologize if I am rambling through this, but I am completely at a loss as to how to handle this or what direction to go in. I am writing this on mobile, so please forgive spelling and grammar issues. I and my wife have been married for 11 years. We met in a chat room in 2002 and have built and developed a relationship off and on over the years. We lived about 1,000 miles apart and had very different outlooks on life, so we mutually separated. She ended up getting pregnant by a certified POS and having a daughter in 2005. That relationship hurt her in many ways and changed her perspectives. The POS had her trapped where she was by geographical restrictions, so she was stuck in a bad position for several years. We were on again and off again for a few years, still long distance, before we separated again. She got pregnant again by a fairly decent guy who was very self-centered, and gave birth to a boy in early 2011. They separated shortly after she gave birth and he doesn't want involvement with his son, voluntarily sending her $400 a month instead. Her geographical restrictions were lifted in late 2011 and she moved in with me with both her kids. We got married in 2012 and have been working to build a life together. I have mild autism and ADHD, so I am very introverted and socially awkward. Over the years, I have also found that I am asexual and thus, have almost zero desire or need for physical intimacy or romance. She is the polar opposite and practically needs physical intimacy to stay sane. This has caused many issues between her and I over the years, and we recently reached an agreement where her side of our marriage is open so she can get the intimacy she needs. She currently has a boyfriend, who isn't a bad guy honestly, who is living with us on our property. In basic terms, I am financing everything as she is a stay-at-home mom and she handles all the billing, paperwork, appointments, shopping, etc. I do not have an issue with this arrangement and I am perfectly fine with it. They leave me alone and let me do my own thing, and they do theirs. The other side of this marriage is her kids. The girl currently is a train wreck of epic proportions. We have dealt with her lying and stealing from us for years, intentionally causing issues between the wife and I, and generally being an asshole. She snuck out of the house one night in 2020 to bang the local drug dealer in the bathroom of a fast food place in town. She ended up getting pregnant and giving birth to a boy in 2021. They both lived with us until December of last year when we finally forced her out of the house. The boy is autistic and difficult to handle. He's not a bad kid at his core, but he is impulsive and emotional. He does not think about things before he does them. Recently, he got into an argument with a neighbor friend of his in an online game. He vented his anger to us and we advised him to at least take the evening off the game and think about things before he does anything. He chose to go over to the neighbor's house and threaten his friend with a knife to get his Nerf guns back. The neighbors were cool about the situation and they understand his mentality, so they did not push for any kind of legal involvement. Yesterday, he decided that he was bored, so he grabbed some flammable liquid from the garage, took it and a jug of water to the back of the property and proceed to start literally playing with fire in the middle of a woodpile, during one of the worst droughts we have seen in our area. Long story short, the woodpile caught on fire and started burning because he thought he had put everything out with the water jug when he finished playing, so he left it and came back inside. The wife noticed it when she and her boyfriend were coming back from dinner after the sun had gone down. We gore the fire out and there wasn't any damage beyond the woodpile and some brush, but we all know how bad it very easily could have been. These aren't the only issues we have had with him obviously, just the most recent and serious. The issue I have is that I have reached my limit with him specifically, and I really don't want to continue having to deal with him and his behavior. You might be thinking that, since he isn't my child, I should just divorce my wife and let her and her boyfriend deal with him. I have considered it, and I consulted with a divorce lawyer and confirmed that I have zero legal ties to him or the daughter in any way. The reason I am not divorcing my wife is that she has a laundry list of serious medical and health issues, not the least of which is lupus and a currently unknown cardiovascular issue that is causing her major issues at the moment, and she loses all health insurance if I leave. Pretty much the only reason we are currently married is because I don't want to screw her over by taking away her health insurance. I may not be in love with her anymore, but I respect her as a person and I don't want to hurt her. I know that I should divorce her and move on, but I can't bring myself to do that to her. I just can't keep dealing with her son and the BS he keeps pulling that is involving and endangering people outside of the house. I don't know what to do anymore. Any advice is appreciated. Comment. You have been supporting 4 people. Did I read that correctly? Why? Pity. I understand not wanting to hurt her, but this is hurting you. Do not sacrifice yourself for her. She will figure it out. She's clearly figured it out before and she'll do so again. If you don't choose you and take care of you, who will? Could you somehow legally stay married but literally physically and emotionally separate? I understand not wanting to put your wife in that position. What about her boyfriend? Does he have a job that could support her with benefits if they chose to get married? This post has to be pure fiction. But what's one more piece of shit in this shit show? Just put up with the autistic child because you appear to be tolerating an unfaithful stay-at-home wife, a bratty stepdaughter, and funding this craziness.